Welcome to the Dallas Palace of Analysis. Today we're going to be talking about the Knicks zone offense against the 76ers. I've seen a lot of people critiquing it, talking about, oh, does Tibbs know how to handle the zone? Why are these guys not prepared? Yada, yada, yada. I want to go through how the Knicks offense performed because I actually think they were fairly prepared. And I thought the scheme to beat the zone was not too bad. And actually, the film reveals why, zone defenses can't be your only defense in the NBA, or else you just run into problems. It's too easy to stress. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few concepts specifically. I'm going to talk about two places on the perimeter where the zone defense is stressed, and there are those places on the perimeter where defenders have to pass men off to each other, ball handlers off to each other. And then I'm going to talk about two other places in the zone defense that are weak points. One is the baseline, and the other is the high post. And the Knicks attacked all of these in creative ways, sometimes just with simple ball screens, sometimes with off-ball screens and player movement, and sometimes by overloading the weak side of the court. And I'll talk about each of these in turn, but I thought each of these are, reasonable, tried and true ways of attacking a zone. And I thought the Knicks did a pretty solid job schematically. There were times where their execution wasn't great, and we'll talk about that. But all right, let's get into it. So this is the very first play that the Sixers go zone. They come out in the second quarter and quickly sees it. And immediately you see him here. He signals to the team, all right, let's run our patented zone busting play. So here's how the play works. It's really awesome. It takes advantage of a couple of features of the zone. So the first is this. Zone defenders, both the top line and the back line, often have trouble with guys behind them, right? Their eyes are facing this way. They're guarding zones and not men, so you can lose track of guys sometimes. So quickly passes the ball to Deuce and just slides back in here. And Deuce, now here's another thing that happens. Deuce comes to the middle of the floor, okay? And the reason he comes to the middle of the floor is there's this place here in the middle where these two perimeter defenders have to pass off ball handlers to each other, right? If Deuce comes past the center point, then he's now Maxi's guy. And when he's on this side, he's this guy's guy, right? So by coming here, he forces them to come together. And what you get from this is just a free double team, right? Usually, defenses don't want to double unless they have to, either because you're really awesome, like you're Giannis Antetokounmpo or something like that, or because, it's in help defense. But ideally, if defenses can avoid it, they don't want to double team, right? But the zone often creates these places where you can earn free doubles. So the Knicks take advantage of this free double. Remember, IQ came through here and came back. He comes back out to the perimeter. The Knicks have earned this free double, and now they exploit this gap. So this is squarely in this guy's, in his zone where he's supposed to be defending. But because he had to carry Deuce all the way over to this side, that makes it the case that Quickly is going to catch the ball wide open. Now that's just, simple, good offense. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on back here while this is going up top. Up here, you're earning this free double, but here's another weakness in the zone defense. As I mentioned, the back line, just like the front line, they're looking forward. They're not guarding individual men, right? So it's easy to lose track of guys who are running around back here. So what the Knicks do here is have Obi cut all the way through to this corner. He starts over here, right? And when this ball gets swung, Tibbs knows, right, that this defender is going to have to step up to stop Quickly. Otherwise, Quickly has this huge gap to the paint, right? He's going to have to step up while this guy recovers. And what that is going to do is make it the case that this center man has to come out to guard Obi on the three-point line if Quickly makes that pass. Enter Isaiah Hartenstein. He's coming to set a screen here to spring Obi for the open three. Okay, so this is just, it's all very simple, start to bottom. And here, we'll just start it at the beginning and watch it through. You'll see how simple this is start to bottom. But it creates a wide open 3-pointer in the corner. It's just good, simple offense. Can't complain about it at all. That's great schematically. That's a great way to attack the zone. Awesome start for the Knicks. IQ saw that, read it immediately. Great. Okay, come down. Play 2. We have the zone again. All right. IQ again calls out the play. What the Knicks are going to do here, you see RJ signal to Obi. They're going to send extra men to this weak side of the floor. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a screen up top. And this screen is, again, exploiting that sort of free double team. But you actually get, ordinarily you might think, well, in a pick and roll, you're going to have 2 guys at the ball anyways, right? So like, how is this an advantage, right? Because ordinarily you'll have, here's a big and then here's a small. So now we just have 2 smalls. So where's our advantage? Well, the advantage comes from here. Because this is a zone, right? This guy's zone is here, right? So even though there's no offensive player over here, he's still on this side of the court. So now we've earned ourselves, essentially, we have 3 defenders over here and 2 offensive players. So on this side of the court now, we've got ourselves a 3-on-2. So if we can get Maxey here, 0, all the way over here as far as possible, right? Then we're going to create a 3-on-2 over here, and hopefully we can exploit that. And that's essentially the idea here behind the scheme. That's why you overload this side of the court against the zone sometimes. And that's why you run a pick and roll up here, because the pick and roll is going to make it the case that, this defender can't handle it on his own. You really do need another defender to step up, because if you didn't have the pick and roll here, well, probably this guy can just stay up here on IQ, even if he's over here. And this guy, maybe he'll come here, but, Maxey isn't going to come all the way over here. He has to come all the way over here because of this pick and roll. So comes all the way over there. And then the play is very simple, right? IQ is not going to try to penetrate. He's not trying to get into the paint. His only role here is to swing the ball. He swings the ball. Deuce swings the ball. And notice, as soon as Deuce gets it and this guy steps up, we do have, look at our advantage in terms of like black shirts versus red shirts, right? Now, the Knicks end up not winning here. RJ isn't super comfortable driving right. And so we don't get a great shot out of this, but that's the basic idea. And you're going to see in this very next play, we run the same thing and we do it to perfection and we get an awesome look out of it. It ends up not working as well, but see, take a look again. Let me just go back a little bit. We're going to again have up. So IQ comes up the side. We set that pick and roll, which draws 2 defenders in. We have this no man's defender here, right? So we have 3 defenders for 2 guys. And again, we have the strong side overloaded, or excuse me, the weak side overloaded. RJ makes a really quick swing pass and that forces this defender up. And again, we have this beautiful 2-on-1 situation. Deuce does a great job of attacking it. He realizes Maxey's trying to show and recover. And he just doesn't make the right lob, right? But even if he didn't lob it, let's go back one more time. Let's say he decides not to lob it. We'll look at Obi wide open too. So, I mean, these are just really simple actions, but they're well designed, well run to attack the zone. And you're just seeing the zone crumple in response to them. Now the Knicks aren't getting good shots, but they're doing the right sort of things, right? And the reason why they're not getting a good shot here, I mean, Deuce was, there was a foul called. So, that explains that. And it's certainly the case that this is not, ideal defense by the Sixers. There was a miscommunication up here and we could talk about that, but I'll let it go because we're talking about the Knicks offensive scheme. All right. Again, IQ set, he's just running that screen just so he can run another screen. That's the only reason he did that. Because he wants, again, to draw these guys in. Here, we actually aren't overloading this side, but we're still going to use the same concept. Run a high pick and roll. You should not ever try to be using the high pick and roll to attack and create your own shot here unless this guy is not prepared, right? And then you maybe will have this gap. But ordinarily, in the zone, they're ready for this pass off. And so all you want to do is draw this defender in as much as possible. make your pass. You even see him hesitating there just to get Maxey to commit a little bit more. And then look at this gap you've created. And that any good NBA offense is going to turn this into a good shot, right? And Obi does create a good path to the hoop. He doesn't get all the way there. But when you see the defense collapse like this as a result of the gap that he had, right now, Obi should probably be looking to kick the ball out. He takes a shot and he does make it. But that, maybe that's not the best choice for him there. But again, this is just simple, good offense the Knicks are running against the zone. I don't think there's an issue here with scheme. I don't think there's an issue here with, I'm not critiquing Tibbs for any of this. Okay. Here we have an inbounds play. Now we're going to talk about, this is, we've been talking about this here, place where there's a weakness on the perimeter. There's a similar weakness here, where this defender and this defender have to pass off ball handlers, right? So the Knicks are just going to do the exact same thing. Get this, look, as soon as this guy starts stepping to the ball for the pass off because of this screen, RJ swings the ball, and then again, just look at the space. Now, maybe again, I don't know, maybe you want Obi to kick this, but this is just a good shot for an NBA offense, right? Like Obi misses it, but that's just a good shot for the NBA, for an NBA offense. And if you're generating that shot every time down, you're happy with it. Again, were you taking advantage of this place in the offense, or excuse me, in the defense, where the two defenders have to come together? RJ makes, this is how you beat zone defenses, right? You make quick decisions, you move the ball, men move. So as soon as RJ gets it, right, last time he fiddled around a little bit and lost the advantage. Here he attacks immediately, right? Unfortunately, he gets stripped, but you can see he would have had either a nice floater or he had Deuce open in the corner, Obi even more open in the corner. Just all around, men open all over the place, right? Again, simple offense, but good offense, an offense that worked. And the Knicks actually, IQ makes something out of nothing here. Obi does a great extra pass and RJ hits the three. But from the perspective of running the zone offense schematically, like tough to be angry. Now, excuse me. Now against the first unit, so now we're jumping to the fourth quarter. The Sixers went to zone, but they often, and what we'll see, the defense got a lot better, and they were a lot more creative with their zone, and they switched back and forth between zone and man, and it did mess up the Knicks a little bit. So this first play is pretty cool. The Knicks are going to attack another weakness in the zone, which we haven't talked about yet, the high post here. And the way they're going to attack it is like this. Grimes is going to cut to the corner, and Sims is going to set this screen. And you're going to see the screen really isn't designed to do too much, but the screen is going to have Niang fighting here because this is his man. This is his zone. If there's a man coming into that zone, he knows he has to get there, right? So he's going to go guard there. And then Sims is going to drop down here. Now you have this interesting feature where Harden, again, this is just advantages you get from overloading one side of the court against a zone. Harden's zone is over here, right? But look at this. With Sims coming here and Grimes, everybody's on this side of the court, right? Besides Quickly, which is this guy's man, or at least that's his zone. So Harden basically has nobody to guard. And with Sims here, dropping down here, Embiid can't leave him, or that's an easy lob, right? So as a result, Julius catches the ball here, and there's just nobody to guard him. He turns around and easy jumper. We'll watch that play one more time in high speed. I mean, can't complain about that at all. Okay, the Knicks next time down decide they want to run the exact same set. Hey, it worked. We see the zone again. Let's try it again. This time, however, the Sixers are ready for it. And so as soon as, Grimes cuts the corner, Sims doesn't set the screen that time, but he does fall back here. Harden is ready. Notice that he comes over to take Sims away so that Embiid can step up on Julius, right? Now, as soon as this happens, the Sixers do something interesting. As soon as Julius gets the ball in the post, they switch back to man defense, right? Now we're not in a zone anymore. Now this is just, we're just going to play this straight up. There's only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Julius drives. Unfortunately, he stumbles and loses the ball. But, I don't hate the Knicks going back to trying the same zone beater that just worked before. See if the Sixers have figured it out. They did, and now they go away from that. Okay, so now the very next play down, the Sixers are now out of their zone, right? They're still sort of really attacking the middle, but they're not. They're sort of in a. It's like it looks a little zone-ish at times, but it also has a lot of man. Looks like man defense. They're kind of in and out, right? So the Knicks aren't totally sure how to beat this. Now this for sure is zone, right? Now the Sixers are in zone. And here they go back to the classic play that the Knicks ran in the first half. But Brunson, now this is the one place where I want to make another critique of a player. And the Knicks get an okay shot here. It's not a shot you hate, but we saw in the first half how easy it is to get good shots if on this part in the zone you draw. If instead Brunson took the screen this way, drew Maxey in, and just swung the ball, you would have this giant gap here, and then you have Grimes, Quickly, and Randall on this side of the floor. You're going to get an awesome shot with one defender left to help. Maybe Harden tries to come over. That's going to work out wonderfully for the offense. Instead, Brunson decides, no, you know what? I want to try to do this myself. I'm going to take the screen the other way. And he does get a good shot as a result of this, right? So, that shot for Brunson, again, for a lot of guys, that's a bad shot. For Brunson, that's not a bad shot. But is that the best shot the offense can get? Probably not, especially with the way that particular play, that flood the weak side play or overload the weak side play with the high pick and roll was generating good looks in the first half. I expect it to continue to generate good looks here. So I would much rather, Brunson attack in that way. But is that on the scheme? No, I don't think so. The scheme seems pretty good there. And that's just Brunson making that choice. Now, here's something I want to draw your attention to. The Sixers have run zone a bunch of times in a row at this point, besides one play where they sort of showed man. If you don't want to face a zone defense, one thing you can do is push like hell in transition. Brunson pushes like hell, and it basically forces the Sixers to get into man concepts, right? So if you want to not face a zone defense, that's one thing you can do. Now, this is super cool. Not really relevant to our zone beating, but IQ is just heads up here. He passes the ball off and cuts through. And instead of just standing here and spacing the floor and letting, Randall have to create a shot, he decides to create a shot just by, he just steps down and sets a little screen. And that's a great look. So again, even down the stretch, even when the Sixers are going back and forth between zone and man defense, the Knicks are still pretty much generating solid shots whenever their players aren't messing up, right? Like Julius had that, turnover where he just stumbled, and Brunson had the, it was an okay shot off the pick and roll, but schematically things look okay. All right. Now here may be the only real zone play that I wasn't happy with schematically, but even so, it ended up working out fine. But why? I don't know why. Why are you trying to run horns against the zone? Maybe you want to try to go over the top here to Julius, I guess, but that's a hard pass to make, and Brunson really isn't even looking for it. Maybe you're trying, it looks like what they're trying to do is to pinch both of the, small defenders, the high defenders in between the screens, but really you're just getting into an ordinary pick and roll sort of look. I guess maybe, that's not a terrible look for Brunson down the stretch. But I would much rather here, and again, I think this is kind of nitpicky. It's fine that the Knicks mix things up here, but I would much rather just have Julius in this zone here, have Brunson draw the 2 defenders and then kick the ball, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with Julius attacking this zone with RJ over here. You have 1 defender for 2. Maybe Embiid comes down to help if Julius is attacking here. But then you have RJ in the corner. I just think you're going to get a better look. But, they went early enough, which is something that they don't always do down the stretch, partially probably because they're behind. And they kept moving the ball and kept attacking, and they still got a good shot. And you're not always going to get a great shot off your first attempt. So at the end of the day, after going through this more carefully, after looking at the film, I'm not mad or upset with schematically the way we attacked the zone. I think we actually did a pretty good job. There were instances where we didn't get good shots. Sometimes as a result of, players messing up, sometimes, just from the Sixers playing good defense when they switched from, zone to man mid play. I thought that was, they came back prepared for that targeting of the high post set that we used. And you just sort of have to tip your cap in some of those cases. So I'm going to end there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, like and subscribe to the Strickland's YouTube channel if you haven't, and have a great day.